If you have a short visit to Tulum, what are the top things that you should consider doing? Well, let's start with Tulum Beach. You should go see the things that are so iconic to Tulum, the things you see in the photos. You should catch something delicious to eat, and you should maybe have an adventure. See a cenote, go adventure beyond the cenotes. In this video, I'm sharing with you the top things you should consider doing if you're visiting Tulum on a super short trip coming up. If you're new here, yo, I'm Christine Lozada. I've spent a lot of time in Tulum. I actually had the opportunity to have two friends who've never been come in for a day trip while I was spending the month of February there this past year. And so I want to share with you the two very different itineraries I took them on. And also, very honestly, things I would consider skipping that a lot of people, I don't want to say waste their time on, but really don't have time for when you have a short trip. Let's start with the first decision you need to make. The beach or adventuring beyond the beach? That's the key thing you need to start with. And the question you should ask yourself is, what month are you going to Tulum? If you're going in the hot summer months, there's going to be a lot of sargasso or seaweed on the beach. And then some people will argue that it doesn't change their experience, but in my opinion, it is a night and day difference in terms of what Tulum Beach is like. So if you're there during the hot months, I would skip the beach and not even go and go adventure beyond. But if you're there in the winter months or in one of the months that there's no seaweed, you should absolutely go to Tulum Beach, because a lot of what you see in the photos of Tulum are all happening in that area. And if you're like, wait a minute, how do I know? Check the description. There's a ton of video about seaweed, as well as blog posts, and my true secrets are in the exclusive content. Don't miss it in the description. There are 5 things you should consider doing on Tulum Beach if you're in the clear on the seaweed. The first one is to go to Azulik. It's so iconic in terms of what Tulum looks like. And let's be real, a lot of people have been looking at the photos, and Azulik will deliver on what you would expect out of Tulum. There are 2 ways you can visit Azulik. One is through the museum, and this is a spot that you go to during their business hours, pay the new entrance fee, and just enjoy it with taking photos off your phone and kind of poking and looking around. The second way is grabbing sunset drinks. There's the restaurant area of Azulik, and you can go dine here, or you can just come for drinks. On average, they're about $20 per drink, significantly more if you're drinking some nice wine, but go see Azulik. The next thing you should do is go see the Daniel Popper statue, the Tulum statue. This is what everyone knows Tulum as, if we're honest. It's no longer free. It's no longer on the beach road. Check the video in the description for how to visit it, but going and taking a photo and seeing the statue is something you should consider doing. The next thing you should do, because it's right next to where the statue is at, go look at Tulum Jungle Gym. Everyone creates so much content about this spot. The Flintstones gym. There are 2 locations now, one on the beach and one in Tulum town, but the beach location is the iconic one. Go check it out. Actually, go work out if you want to, or just, do a couple pull-ups out front. The last thing you should do, spend your day at a beach club. There are so many options, and it depends on what kind of vibe you're looking for. So consider checking out the beach club's video to give you an idea of places you should consider hanging out. But it's a great way. Just spend the afternoon on a day bed, have some drinks. All the food in Tulum. It's difficult to find food that's not good in Tulum. But go to a beach club, enjoy the day, and once sunset happens, go enjoy yourself at an amazing restaurant around Tulum Beach. There's an endless number of them, and you're guaranteed to find something super delicious. If Tulum Beach is not your vibe, or there's seaweed on the beach, you should go have an adventurous side of Tulum. I mean, it could be relaxing as well, but the cenotes. But first, if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and we're all a community. If you have a suggestion, add it in the comments below. I discover new things all the time by asking you guys how I should adventure around Tulum. Although, to be honest, I'm not traveling to Tulum anymore. I talk about that in the exclusive content. I am tired of the cartel activity. it just ain't safe. But on a more positive note, you should definitely visit the cenotes in Tulum. The cenotes are a really magical experience. I would absolutely skip the ones that are in town. They just suck, in my opinion. They're overcrowded. They're not that nice versus other ones in the surrounding areas. And in general with the cenotes, I would say it kind of takes away the magic when you have to wear a life jacket. And if you want to hit up a cenote-like experience without having to go outside of the Tulum town area, if you don't have a car, then you should consider going to the secret one that's behind Holy Deer, behind the coffee shop. It's a cute little quiet one. But one thing I would not consider is going to the one at the end of Tulum Beach. It just doesn't look like that beautiful cenote water. But there is one at the end of Tulum Beach Road that I don't recommend. One thing I did do is I went to a secret cenote, a drive, maybe 20-30 minutes outside of Tulum, because I didn't want to have to wear a life jacket and I wanted more of just like a vibey beach club experience while at a cenote. You can find info about that in the show notes below. Another adventure in Tulum that's really cool is Sian. Go to Muyil, go to the floating river. What is that? It's a place where they'll drop you off in one spot, you wear a life jacket like a diaper, and you float down this river that's actually moving pretty fast. And then they'll grab you on the other side. There's an opportunity to see some ruins while you're out there. And Sian is a biosphere where you can get on a boat and see just the beautiful surrounding water and area and birds, etc. But this is another great option, especially if you're a family with kids. I never recommend bringing kids to Tulum Beach. There is a video of Tosh who did it successfully. I interviewed her, and the way she did Tulum, she rocked it very differently than the adventurous way I do it as a solo traveler. But it's definitely an option for you to have an experience, especially if you have your family with you. If you're skipping Tulum Beach, there's one last thing I recommend, which is going into Pueblo. Tulum town is an opportunity to have a lot of cool experiences, meet some locals, be amongst the locals, but also find at a fraction of the price. I mean, think about it. Tulum Beach is where all the tourists are. No locals are hanging out there. Tulum town, you can find a mix of both. And so you'll find all kinds of price points over at Tulum town and a lot more off the beaten path types of experiences. There's so many cool live music or awesome restaurants or places to just check out. But spending time in Tulum town, especially for dinner, is something that you shouldn't miss. Things I would skip, where I would stay if you're staying overnight for just a night, and also how to get around Tulum. Let's dive into those three. The things I would skip are a few things. Azulik in the jungle has a location, but if you're there for a short time, it's not worth the drive to go all the way out there. And so I would stick to Azulik on the beach, also because it's on the entrance side of the beach that's a little bit more easy to get to. Traffic on Tulum Beach can be scary. And so I'm just going to put that out there, that kind of running around and doing all of these things is difficult, especially if there's traffic on the beach. And so choosing between your beach experience versus your non-beach adventurous side experience is why I've laid out the video in this way. The next thing I would skip the ruins in Tulum. A lot of people will go to the north side of Tulum Beach to go to the beaches over there, as well as seeing the ruins. If you're seeing ruins, go to Chichen Itza. Go to the big ruins that are outside of Tulum. The ones within, they're fine, but it's a very touristed thing. And to spend all of your time in Tulum in this way, there's other things that I would recommend doing instead. If you're there for longer, you should definitely check out these things. Another thing I would 100% skip is anything in La Valeta or Aldea Zama. Ooh, I'm gonna get some flack for that. Why do I say that? Because Tulum town, Tulum Beach, this is iconic Tulum. If you're coming for just a day or a very, very short time, unless you're the person that likes to go spend your vacations at the mall, it's the same mall that you have at home, you're not going to get as unique of experiences in these newer neighborhoods. You're going to get a little bit more of a sterile Tulum. That's just my opinion. How do you get around to do all of these activities? If you have that short window of time in Tulum, I recommend using taxis. Whew, get ready to negotiate. Check out the video in the description around how to get around Tulum. But if you have a short time, I recommend using taxis. Bikes, depending on where you're going, could potentially take you just too long to get around. Lastly, if you're staying overnight, especially if it's a short stay, in my opinion, I would recommend staying in Tulum town. Why is that? If you're staying on the beach, on average, you'll pay around $200, $300, $500 plus for a room. So unless you're staying all day at the beach club attached to that hotel, it doesn't make sense to pay for it if you're not actually there and you're out adventuring around Tulum Beach. So I would recommend staying in town because there are a lot of newer properties or more local style properties that are a fraction, i.e. $75 or less, $50 or less per night to stay in Tulum town. Plus that means you can go enjoy a dinner in Tulum town, catch some live music, and then go walk back to your hotel. Boom, that's how I would do Tulum in a day. If you have a suggestion, add it in the comments. Don't forget, in the description, there are so many resources that people miss. Be a smart traveler, go check them out. I'm Christine Lozada. I'll see you in the next adventure. Ciao.